Okay, let's review what we've gone over and what we've learned about arguments so far today. We've learned about analyzing arguments, reconstructing the arguments. That is, reconstructing the arguments involves identifying the premises and the conclusion. Figuring out usually you want to start with figuring out what the point of the argument, the conclusion is. Based on that, figuring out what are the reasons a person is writing about. It could be speaking, it could be on television, it could be something else, but we're dealing primarily in philosophy with written works. So what is the guy writing about? What reasons is he giving in writing to support his conclusion? And the second part of reconstructing the argument is writing the argument down in a standard form. You've seen R1, numbering the premises and the final conclusion. Now, just to review it, reconstructing the argument helps us understand and evaluate the rational strength of the argument. Does that set of premises provide good support for believing the conclusion? Remember, this all has to do with gaining knowledge, having good reasons for believing something, and that's why we're looking at the argument. So we're looking at rational strength as opposed to the rhetorical power. And when you think of it, when I talked a little bit about rhetoric before, in debates, people trying to persuade you, trying to sway you over to their side, they're using emotional appeals. That's all fine in rhetoric. Part of rhetoric is also trying to give you good reasons, because part of what makes most people's decision is, has the person given you good reasons for whatever it is that they want to either convince you of or they want to sell you on. And rational strength of an argument is a function of logic, the logical strength of the connection between the premises and the conclusion. Are the premises and the conclusion related in the right way? And that doesn't mean were they spoken or written in the right order. After all, in figuring out the argument, we figure out what the conclusion is, one of the premises. Sometimes it's not so easy. And during the course of the semester, we will be talking about the criteria that we use for that. We're going to be learning how to figure out what the premises are and what the conclusion is. And the one way you learn this is by experience. There is no formula that's magically going to get you there. And the second thing the second factor that contributes to the rational strength of an argument is the rational strength of the premises. Are the premises good? Are they believable? Do they make sense? And remember, a valid argument, when we call an argument valid, is a logically strong argument, is a good argument from the perspective of logic. But remember, that was only the first criterion of a good argument. But to be a good argument, it has to be sound. Not only does it have to be valid, but all of its premises have to be true. Now, if we know that an argument is sound, we know it's a good one, it's a rationally strong one, and we have good reason for believing the conclusion.